Hi there, my name is Tim Michael. I'm the owner of Knife Maker Training, and welcome to our video here on YouTube as well as knifemakertraining.com, one of our free series where we take you on a walkthrough of Ed's complete shop. This is over an hour-long video, so we're going to cut it down to a few pieces for you, and I hope that you enjoy them. If you see it get cut off in a weird spot, I apologize. It's probably the best I could find in the amount of time that I want to give you per video. I don't want to overload you with a full 1 hour long video. Would like to cut it into pieces so that way you can enjoy learning a little bit about each part of Ed's shops. I hope that you enjoy this, and just to let you know, Ed Caffrey is an ABS mastersmith, and he is incredibly gifted with many years of experience in the industry. He's been selling knives for many years and is definitely desired by many other people interested in getting his training. He's had training for a long time that he does at his shop, but we've opened up something new with knifemakertraining.com where you can go there and now you can buy his guides online as well as some of the tools that he is selling that would definitely come in handy for you. You can check all that out at knifemakertraining.com. We're going to get you into the video. I hope that you enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching.
Okay, as we move over this way, this is a disc grinder that I bought / built. This was actually part of a 1x42 combo machine. I literally bought the thing, brought it home, and sawed it in half on the bandsaw right away, simply because this is set up for one purpose, and that's for making the angles on dovetail bolsters. That's its only purpose in the shop. This is the second buffer that's in the shop. This is probably, I think this was the first or second buffer I ever bought, but it's a 3/4 horse Balder, 1750 RPM, or excuse me, 1800 RPM. And as you can see, I've got it set up with steel brushes. Some of the finishes that I do on various blades and things like that are actually steel brushed finish. Just a different look and sometimes a nicer look. In the background is my metal lathe. This is another piece of Grizzly equipment. I actually wore out several of the little mini lathes before I finally got the urge to upgrade and go to a little bit bigger machine. The other thing, and we've talked about in previous video, is lights. You got to have lights. You got to be able to see what you're doing. This was actually just kind of a fun little gig for me. I bought a couple of rolls of the little 50/50 LED strips off of Amazon and just put them all together and built my own overhead light for that. All right, we'll swing around now over this direction. One of my disc grinders. All my disc grinders are set up with variable speed. And again, the foot pedal. So basically, and it is this particular motor. This is a DC motor with a DC controller, obviously from Dayton. I use this one for handle materials, that sort of thing. Anything just I need a quick little deal with. Over here, an old Craftsman bandsaw. Actually, this is a pretty good quality small bandsaw. I would really love to have a big floor model, but as you can see by looking around, space doesn't permit that in my shop now. This particular bandsaw has actually served me really well, provided you get blades custom made for it. Don't buy the crappy Craftsman blades because about one cut and they're toast. I actually, here in Montana, I have a saw shop located on the west side of the Rocky Mountains that I have him make me about 4 or 5 blades a year, and I just keep them on hand. This is mainly used for handle material, resawing bigger chunks of wood, that sort of thing. Moving along, this is a tool I built. It's a real old disc grinder that I hooked up to a motor. This table is locked at 7.5 degree angle. This is another one-purpose tool in my shop. The only purpose for this is cutting the angle for liner lock and frame lock folders. And that's pretty much all that one's there for. Just to let you know, it's outfitted with a 120 grit disc. Next up, you can see I use this for storage in the wintertime. This is all my cold weather gear here, but my bead blast cabinet. Probably the only real important thing that I'll tell you about that is over the years, I never did find a blast media that quite suited me personally. So about a decade ago, I started mixing stuff. And this actually has about a 50-50 mix of glass beads and then 70 grit aluminum oxide in it, which I find is good for all purposes. Let's see, where are we at? Next up, a Beaumont disc grinder. Variable speed again. I've got to show you something about this. This is probably one of the coolest tools that I've ever come across. This is a Rod Nielsen convertible disc. Basically, there's rare earth magnets embedded in a aluminum back, and then there's steel face plates. As you can see, these are set up at a 1-degree bevel. Why is that important? Let me get this on here without pinching my fingers off. What's so important about that is a lot of times on a disc grinder, you're grinding on it in this manner. Well, if you can look as I go past center, because there's a 1-degree bevel on here, this blade or this piece of file or this file will never grab on the other side. If you have a perfectly flat disc and you happen to get past center, one side's turning one way, one side's turning the other, and it tries to grab and jump around. With a 1-degree bevel, that never happens. So that's a really, really cool, useful tool in my shop. A couple of things I've had guys ask me about: belt storage. This is how I store my belts in the shop. This is from my blacksmithing days when I did a lot of ornamental blacksmithing. This was actually an old pot rack that I got a brain shower one day about storing belts. I used to be like everybody else. I had belts on the wall and they're taking up all this space. Hard to get to, just kind of a train wreck. And so I decided I was going to use an old pot rack and then hang it from the ceiling so it could rotate. And then really all I had to do was just, I hot riveted these hooks on for the belts. And it's actually a convenient and easy way, because when I'm here, all I do is turn around, hang up one belt, grab another, and keep on going. Okay, next in line. You've probably seen this in other videos. My shop has a loft in it. So basically I've got storage, not only storage on top, but there's airspace up there. This is actually an old swamp cooler. And what I've done is I've taken the swamp cooler pads out and I've replaced them with a stack of 3 disposable furnace filters. Basically, this is a dust collection system in my shop. The exhaust goes through the attic area, basically, and just recirculates back in. But this picks up, I would have to say, probably 50 to 60% of the dust that floats around in here. The cool thing about it is I can pull these filters out, take them outside, blast them out with compressed air. And I think these filters, I've been using these for probably 2 years now. So, and then just back in, all I had to do was rewire and relocate the switch. It's got a low, an off, and then a high. In addition to that, I actually have, years and years ago when we first moved to Montana and I decided this was going to be a knife shop, this box that's literally attached to the ceiling, it basically serves the same purpose as the old converted swamp cooler, but it's just a dust sucker too. And what I did was I took a motor and blower out of an old furnace and then basically bolted it to a hole in the ceiling and built the box around it. And likewise, as you can see, it's just got stacked up disposable air filters in it. Switches on and off right there. And so really I have real good dust collection in here with both of these.